What up everyone, I'm Joey Stanko. I'm here today to talk to you about some snowboard boots. Who am I? I'm a boot fitter by trade. So my job is to help people like you in store, whether it's buying a new pair of boots or fixing up an old set, or maybe heat molding a liner, or adding some footbeds in there to give you some more support, or adding some foam to a liner, or removing some. My job is to help you guys stay on the hill longer. Because when your feet hurt, it hurts, dude, and you need to get off the mountain. And that's the last thing that we want to happen to you. Everyone in the industry wants you to stay on snow. So I'm going to help you with the boots. All right, you might be asking, who the hell am I? Well, like I said, I'm a boot fitter by trade. I've been doing boot fitting here in Australia and in my shop in Miyako, Japan for the last 12 winters back to back. Yep, 24 winters there. And before that, I was in US. So I grew up in US, worked at the infamous Boot Doctors in Telluride, Colorado, and I grew up East Coast. Now, I got all this boot fitting experience under my belt, and I help so many people that I can see and actually physically help them with boots. So I'm starting to do these videos so I can help you guys with some of the boot problems you have, because, yeah, we don't want boot problems. No one wants boot problems. All right, let me clear up a few things about boot fitting. So what is boot fitting? Boot fitting is a process of helping someone A, get a boot, or B, fix a boot. Easy. Okay, what do you need to know about snowboard boots? So what you need to know about snowboard boots is simple. They're always different. Everyone's feet's different. Every brand's different. Every model in the brand's different. Just think different. So you got to try them on. Nitro is going to fit different to Burton. Burton's going to fit different to 32. 32 is going to fit different to Vans. Vans are going to fit different to Salmon, to K2, to Deluxe, and the list goes on and on and on. We're a snowboard shop here, and we have a lot of boots. Why do we have so many boots? Well, it's a pain in the ass to have so many boots in so many sizes. But the reason is because everyone's feet are different, so we use the boot and the person's foot, and we try and match it up like a puzzle. So brands are going to fit different in length. That's one measurement. Brands are going to fit different in last or width. That's another measurement. Brands are going to fit different in volume. So how tight it is across the instep, the highest part of your foot. Brands are going to fit different in the calf. Brands are going to have different lacing systems. Brands are going to have different colors. Brands are going to have different tech. Brands have different soles. Difference. Okay, you're like, wow, everything's different. How am I supposed to figure this out? Well, the way you figure this out is going into your local snowboard shop. Hopefully finding someone like me who's a boot fitter in there to help guide you through the process. The last thing we want you to do is spend money on boots and wear them out too fast or have issues with them. You got to take your time when you're trying on a pair of boots. You got to try multiple brands on. You got to try multiple sizes on. You got to try multiple stiffnesses on. And that way you'll be able to figure out which boot fits your foot the best. Cinderella story. You got to try the boots on. You got to find the one that fits the best. All right, so the number one problem, and that's what I'm going to talk to you guys today about. The number one problem I see when people come into the shop and I help them fit and fix their boots is that their old boots or their current boots they have problems with are too big. If your boots are too big, these are some of the symptoms you'll have. Heel lift. Heel lift's a good buzzword. Heel lift means when you flex forward in your boots, you go toe side, your heel comes up out of the back of the boot. How much heel lift do we want? A perfect boot, there's none. You might have toe jam. Your toe might smack the front of the boot. Usually that's from the boot being too long and you actually have momentum and you're sliding forward and back. You might have to tighten your boots as tight as humanly possible. And what's going to happen? A, it's going to not be tight enough for you, and you wish you can get them tighter. Or B, it's probably going to cut off your circulation, and you're going to have numb feet. Either way, not good. So if you're experiencing heel lift, if you're experiencing your feet sliding forward and back and you jam in the front, if you're experiencing numbness, it could be related with your boots being too big and you're over tightening them. Okay, why do people get their boots too big? Why is this such a common occurrence? Because your snowboard boots are designed for snowboarding. They are the part of the trio, the board, the boot, the bindings. The boot is the most important trio because this boot is going to give you the control on your board. It's going to allow you to go toe side, heel side. It's going to give you the support. It's going to allow you to maneuver that board. The boot is the most important part. So what's different between a boot and a normal shoe? I never have problems with my normal shoes. Well, dude, your normal shoes, you're going to get bigger. You're going to have wiggle room in the toes. Why? Because these things are made for walking around. You're sweet. You don't need to be in snug shoes all day long. You need a bit of comfort. That's fine. But when you're talking about a snowboard boot, you want this thing snug. You want this thing snug so then that way you get all the control you need. That way when you're actually trying to stop because you're about to run into someone or fly off a cliff you didn't know was there, you want that boot tight so that way you got that response. So what do you need to know? What you need to know is that a snowboard boot is made up of two parts. It's got a shell on the outside. It's got a liner on the inside. The liner is going to stretch. This foam material that every boot has, the liner is going to break in as you wear them, and they're going to get bigger. They're going to get softer. The boots are going to flex. The more you wear a boot, the more quickly it's going to break in. When you're looking at prices of a boot, it's usually pretty easy. The cheapest boot's going to be the softest in flex and generally the most roomy. And you go up in that same brand of the stiffest of the boots, even the same size, that boot's going to be tighter and it's going to be stiffer because that's designed for someone who wants extra response. The cheapest ones are designed for beginners. Where most people should live is the middle of the range. The middle of the range boot is going to allow you to have enough comfort and enough support and enough response, and it's going to last. That's the secret. You don't want to buy a boot and blow out of it in a season. Pros are a different story. As an everyday consumer, as a weekend warrior or a seasonaire, you don't want to fly through a pair of boots. You want them to last. They're expensive. So you got to take the time to try these boots on, and you got to go to your local shop. And if your local shop doesn't sit down and measure your foot and says, what's your shoe size? I'd be going somewhere else. That's what I'm saying. At our shop, what we do is we take your shoes off, we take your socks off, we measure your foot, we do a quick assessment, we do the ABCs, and then we ask you a lot of information about your snowboarding, and we take the measurements and your ability and what you want, and we package that together when we try on boots. And we try on different brands to figure out which brand fits you the best. We try on different sizes and different stiffnesses so that way you can get that true Cinderella fit. And once you do, man, you ain't going back. Unfortunately, there's not a cheat code. You can't just say, let me drop down a half size of my shoe size, because all the brands fit different. So some brands you might notice you're running a 9 all day, and then you change brands and you might be like, dude, I had to go up to a 9.5, or vice versa. You're running that 8.5 because that brand fits long. So the best thing you can do, I'm going to say it again, is remember every boot, brand, and model fits differently. So everyone's feet are different You might not even know that. Left to right, I know my left foot's bigger than my right. Everyone's feet are different. All the boot brands fit different. Get in there, try on some boots, find a boot fitter, have a good time. We're here to snowboard. We're here to have some fun. Hit me up if you got any questions, comments, concerns. I'm at your service. Bootfitting.